calling you a radical. So I used to be the hare. Where's the hare? Oh, speaking of the River Parkway, they're going to tear out the bird rehabilitation center to expand the dinosaur park. Well, they're both going to flood probably today, so they'll be underwater. So I used to be the tortoise, now I'm the hare. So a song to end all songs. How long must I sing this song? Teenage mutant, 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 mutant. What mutated him? Nuclear fallout. Indian Point. That's where she got the idea. Go ask her. Who invented the turtles? So it used to be in San Diego, it's San Alfred. It used to be the turtles. You know, they have to come up on the beach, but they got a chance. It used to be, the whales and the dolphins and swimmers. And this is important that I talk about this because song to end all songs. Where's the crab? So the state of Washington, get this one. They've come out with their fishing regs. Same old thing. And look up in 2015 when this catastrophe was really ongoing. Just look it up. The state of Washington having orgies. The WFDW. The lead guy, he's in prison for rape. Yeah. Whoa, boy. Everybody stood by and watched him rape the Pacific Ocean and didn't do anything. How long must I sing this song? So, a song to end all songs. Soon enough, we shut that thing down, the greatest grassroots accomplishment in grassroots activism history. They had no intention of shutting down. They had no intention of shutting down. We forced their hand. Kathy Iwani, go ask her, go talk to her about when she was in town, where she was getting her information. She came home, 7 lines. Larry Hedrick, Ace Hoffman, great Gene Stone. Am I the reason? We've been at it since we were at my earliest memories, and I ain't young. So Washington sets the fishing reg. Gonna be just as nice and good as 22, 21, 20. What? I thought it was almost, because now this is important that I explain this to people because they don't understand it, even people that are up there. So there's an article out in the Washington Post talking about the droughts caused the salmon to be closed. Okay, because I'll tell you why. These writers and these print media, they think the salmon live in rivers. They honestly think, even Steelhead in Idaho, they really believe they live in rivers. They live in rivers. They're born there and they're getting down with Ezra Pound and the breeding grounds. They've been born there, but they sure didn't live their lives there. Ezra Pound lived his life in, when he did all his work in America, that's bullshit. I like how we used to laugh when we were kids. People that called the United States America, America. And we'd say, America? Well, where? Costa Rica? Argentina? Brazil? Canada? What's Alaska now? It used to be part of the Russian Empire. We didn't buy that till what? It's like people say, oh, they attacked us at Pearl Harbor. That wasn't part of the United States. In 1941? No. Wasn't that 59 we bought those two? So, they set the fishing regs. America Vespucci, born and raised in Florence, Italy. Never set foot here in the old USA, United States of America. They've been fighting over this land, last of the Mohicans, for 500 years. This was native land. This was just Shoshone land here in Ogden. It's like they name Ogden, Utah after a guy who never set foot in Ogden, Utah. Whew, he was one. Oh, evil. Look what he used to do to natives. So, indigenous people. My favorite is James Fremont. They wanted to name Western Weaver County Fremont. I had no sure. I said, are you crazy? He was so evil, nasty, rotten that the United States military stripped him. That's who Ogden, Fremont High School? Well, they wanted to name it for, I'm like, are you crazy? That dude was one evil dude. Really evil dude. So how long was sending a free kid So when I was a kid, America Vespucci never spoke Queen's English. He spoke Italiano, bravo, bravo, magnifico. I was just showing my daughter, who does live in Italy, where I learned my flamingo skills. But when I got him, you should see me dance on the beach. Her and I danced at her wedding, the Trainian Sea. You know, she's a designer. Should have seen that wedding. Oh, oh, it was a Fendi wedding. Holy shit, 8-day wedding. You know, so all the models are there, dressed. I had my beautiful Santa Barbara embroidered shirt when we made stuff in the U.S. It was so magnificent, so beautiful, so grand. I know, not that long ago, they're like, oh, we loved it, we loved it. They go, is that a traditional dance in Utah? She says, no, me and my dad made it up. And I'm like, well, I grew up in Ogden, Utah. You know, they were all first and second generation Europeans. It's like me as a plaster. I'm in Florence, Italy. I'm in Austria all the time. Was till COVID. And they're like, I could plaster. And there were some plasters up there. And they just kept laughing at me. There's nobody in the United States who knows how to plaster. I do. And they're like, they got tired of listening to me. So one morning, they're like, come on, we're tired of this. Get up here. I got up on the mud boards. I started going across that with a hawk and trowel. Not drywall, the real stuff. And they're like, holy shit, we never believed it. I never seen nothing like you. And I said, who do you think taught me? I learned from Austrian immigrants, from Italiano immigrants. On West River, where I grew up on the south side of the tracks, it's all Austrian immigrants that came. Del Monte brought him here, right here, to raise tomatoes. Co-op farmers. It was a co-op town. I mean, it was all co-op. You know, everybody shared everything. The Mormon culture that I go, we share everything. You know, and so I said, who do you think taught me? Out in Utah was full of the best craftsmen in the world. Literally. Artisans, unbelievable. The old Ogden Mall, even before the Ogden Mall. The artisans that were in this town, they're all gone. The people that run the city council, they have no clue. They don't even know what I'm talking about. I was sure the 1905 Masonic Temple and chiseled in 2000. What? Who's that? What? Hammer and chisel, one guy. I built the Train Museum, bath and plaster. What? But they spit at artisans. They ask Mama Cabro, ask what Masaka. Go ask him. Go ask the art. Go ask Bernard DeVoto on DeVoto Avenue. Monroe. What? I still. So Washington sets the fishing numbers. So when you read through it, it's very limited. They have so many regulations because the Mitchell Act, which was passed in 1934 by Mariner Eccles from Ogden, Utah. Well, he was born in Logan, but he did all his work here in Ogden, the Great Junction City. You know, the bank on 24th Street, this center construction, the great First Security. When all the banking collapsed, he gathered it up. He's the biggest holding company in the world. First Security Bank, which is now Zions today, they bought it out. I could write a whole book just on that buyout. So they ran the Fed for all those years. In his biography, which I have an autographed copy he gave me, he says, my father, David Eccles, Oregon Timber, from Ogden, Utah, would roll over in his grave. You know, they came from the slums of Glasgow, Scotland. They're Ganskins. For I am Portuguese. Est-ce que vous parlez français? No? French for the middle. For the middle. You know, the Masonics. Oh, I'm a Masonic, not that kind of Masonic. I split my own rock. It's Easter. It's Good Friday. So we were talking about this with my grandson, the Catholic boy in Ogden. I'm like, it's very debatable when Jesus was born. No, he was born on Christmas. Stop. Here's a Catholic historian from the Vatican right here who set up shop in Bethlehem. He says he was born on April 5th. The dominant religion here in Utah believes he was born on April 6th. The Russian Orthodox Church celebrates on January 7th. So when we decided that it would be Christmas was in the year 350, right? That's when the story of Jesus is so paramount. The radical with the whip. The Mormons here were communists. They shared everything. The Hunsaker Mill, Abe the Fourth, my grandpa. The great Mormon socialists, they used to call themselves. In the real true spirit of Jesus. So it's like the Mitchell Act in Oregon. How did that get hijacked? That was to replace the beds where they're born. And they spawned the little fries. They live in the Pacific Ocean. The Chamber of Commerce took it over. So it's restaurants, bars, hotels, come spend your money. How is that possible that politicians versus lobbyists, and who's the counter to the lobbyists? Who's the counter always to the lobbyists? Who's the counter to the lobbyists? The environmentalists. So what happened to the environmentalists? They bought them out. Greenpeace, Sierra Club, used to be good. Friends of I knew Stegner personally from my grandparents. He'd roll over in his grave what they did to the Sierra Club. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. It's like Epstein and Victoria's Secret. Whoa. It's all economy. When people used to think about the ecology, they don't about it. Good Friday. Whatever the story of Jesus, the fact of the matter, he was an activist. Pretty radical. Went into the temple and threw the money changers out protesting usury. What's usury? Utah was the last state in the country to get rid of usury laws. What's the usury law? That's the maximum interest you can charge. Well, prime was 0. It's rising back up. Traditional prime is 7. We used to always say when I taught at the #1 school business in the country, which is hijacked by usury, completely hijacked by usury. What's that yellow ball up in the sky? Floods are imminent. So, the fundamental Christian foundation, one of them is anti-usury, loaning money for profit at a short-term, buy here payday. Utah, you think about it. I want you to just run this through your mind. I was a student professor at the #1 school business in the United States. Now think about it. Public university was beating the private institutions year in, year out. My graduating class, which they blackballed me since we were state, the highest exit scoring in an undergraduate, we used to beat Wharton year in, year out. We used to beat Harvard. It was us three. And we beat them. Think about that. This boutique secret. I remember when I was on Wall Street, this guy come up to me and he says, I hear you're born and raised in Ogden, Utah. The rumor is around here, you're a Weber State guy. Yeah. Oh, I know about that gem. Nobody knows about that boutique gem. Yeah, it's kind of this international secret. International students from all over the world that come to it. Clyde Cooley, the greatest finance professor, all ethics. His classes, because 90% of the students were going to be hedge fund managers, going to be money managers, and he would go on. How do you feel about losing people's money? That's a heavy burden. And you surely, if you get caught up, it will change your mind, stealing people's money. Oh, he would just pound ethics into you. I managed to hedge. Well, I worked as a derivative arbitrage guy. I taught that class at Weber State. We would simply teach a strategy. I saw strides and straddled on the options market, but I taught how to buy puts underneath stocks as an insurance policy on high dividend yield stock. And you could guarantee a return. That's what I taught. When 9/11 happened, I'm one of the first guys that identified they bought puts on there. Kyle Madsen, who passed away. Clyde Cooley dies 2 weeks before we get an MBA class, which is going to be the #1 MBA. So they panicked. Kyle Madsen had Kevin Blanchard running the show. Lots of promises were made, and they betrayed me. So China had come in via the state of Utah, wanted a supply chain via to bring Chinese usury goods in from China. And Utah's all in. This was Levitt. This was Huntsman. This was her. I mean, I'm screaming my head off. It would never happen. What's the odds? Kyle Matt, excuse me, he died of cancer also too, a non-smoker. But Clyde Cooley dies of cancer. What? What? Now, 2 weeks before the legendary MBA program at Weber State to start, Kyle's from Ogden. He taught at the University of Syracuse. I used to argue with him. I says, that's a cancer hotbed. You do know that. And GG dumping. Him and his wife both died within a few years of each other, both non-smokers. Very tragic. So I run that program with lots of promises. I'm fighting them. They're in there. They want it. So now, are you going to believe me now? You're going to believe me now? It's all over international media. Utah's underreporting it. International media is reporting the FBI's study over Chinese influence in Utah. All points to Utah. Right here, the usury capital of the world. Well, we used to be anti-usury. Now we're pro-usury. Buy here, pay day. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Shine some light on this. So, I've been trying for years to kettle me. So they went after me inside there. You know, the first MBA, I was promised so much. I was betrayed hard. Anybody who's gone to Weber State University School of Business post party like it's 1999 needs to sue them for their money back. Anybody's got an MBA needs to sue them. So you believe me now? The FBI investigation points right to Utah. The Weber State Wattis, who's the O? Wattis, from here, born and raised here. CEO of GE, Utah Construction. What? The house. You know, as I've been going off about the great Jared Harding in that palace in 1975, GE and Utah Construction merged. Who was the parent? Utah Construction. They just kept an in name only. Littlefield is the same line. It's an incredible story. Let's walk outside and show you. We got some sun. Kids love that little spot right there. Why wouldn't you? It's always packed. It's cool as hell. You know, but the old Ogden Mall, they tore it down. Or what? Who tore it down? Matt Godfrey, the man who I used to teach with at Weber State, and his wife. That brilliant students, by the way. But you know how they play here in Utah? What's that yellow ball up in the sky? We used to get 300 sunlight days a year, and not this year. How long must I sing this San Onofre song? A song to end all songs. A San Onofre kid. Kevin Blanch versus the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate. You kettle me, I'll kettle you. So, the Mitchell Act, they stole it. So if you're on this side, let's point this way on Mother Earth. If you're on the right side of the Columbia River, which is the state of Washington, they're saying, okay. When you're on the left side of the Columbia River, they're saying it's closed. These numbers have dramatically collapsed, and it's written into the Washington Post today. They're dying because of drought. No, not drought. It's been well confirmed that Kevin Blanch's work is being confirmed. They're dying to see. This acute catastrophe, that's what kind of outliners, Kevin Blanch. I started as a BIS student, one of the first ones in the history of Weber State. I did biology, zoology. I did fine art, go strong, Jen Catlin. I did finance, the great legendary Professor Clyde Cooley. Whoa. I remember, the School of Art started to collapse after Bill Strong, the great activist artist, left. God, it was run by derelicts. The only F I ever got in my entire life. And I was not a good student. I wouldn't even show up or go. I was a heathen. But I was gifted. So I won art contests. I had scores off the chart. But I was, when I was 16, 17 in Ogden, Utah, you know what it was. I majored in girls and beer. I was Ogden, Utah in those days. Whoa, this place was wild. Good wild. Bluest district in the country went to the reddest district in the country overnight, the Reagan recession. Whoa, it's like somebody just flipped a switch. The great Junction City, no more. You know, so How long must I sing? Floods will start today. My birthday is Monday. I'm the Easter kid too. Yeah. Huh. Born on Easter Sunday. It used to be such a cool holiday here. Now, of course, I was talking to one of the young kids. I says, this holiday's about the resurrection of Jesus. Good Friday, Passover. These are sacred days. Good young little Catholic boy. And he looked at me and he says, What? I always thought it was about a bunny laying eggs. Oh, God, I laughed so hard I had tears coming out of my eyes. How long must I sing the Sin and Offering song? So, we got to shut down. We kicked down that domino. And it's us against the propaganda team. So, Oregon says, come spend your money. But we know that they've collapsed and they're dying at sea post 2011. The great coincidence era, 2011. How long must we sing song? People are showing up because they're coming to see Mario. I heard it's a pretty cool movie, and I really don't like contemporary culture, but I heard it's pretty good. So she's going to start coming down today. We've been below 10, 15 degrees, 20 degrees below normal. The great drought, I'm the guy that named it, the 11-year drought. I named it in 2011 when we flooded here in 2011. That nothing like this. And wings we will preach. This is what we hear all day, 24/7. The great military industrialized complex. It's like Mike Lee. He's fiscally responsible. No, he's not. Look at the budgets he votes for every year. Look at these budgets he votes for every year. It's all lip service. I remember when the GOP used to be fiscally responsible, and the left used to be the party of the environment. Now they're both the imperialist lobbyists. The nuclear energy crime syndicate cartel. Trump, Biden, Obama, they're just the puppets. The nuclear energy, military industrialized complex, mega agricultural. We overproduce food so grotesquely in this country. People say, we're going to have famine. The famine was water and snow. Now we've gone to feast here. This is the biggest snowpack in the history of this state. Doesn't even close. And it's getting, as they say in the movies, it's getting awful late. So Kevin Blanche. I'm a mall walker. It's irony because they did a big party for him right here. He turned 100. I got a really great photograph. I'm so glad I did. He's of Japanese descent. The last conversation he and I had, just a couple days before he passed away, he was born on Fukushima Day. It was about Fukushima. And he knew all about it. And me and him right there, we had a conversation. And then he passed away a couple days later. He just turned 100, born on Fukushima Day. Pretty incredible story. He was an incredible man. So I started mile walking at 62 years old, Kevin. I says, yeah, that's how old I am. I'll be 63 in a few days. Me and my wife at the old Ogden. Yeah, then you go there in Delaney's and get those chopstick sandwiches. Oh my God, make you cry. You walk over the bridge to ZCMI, my twin sister over there, and at the candy counter, homemade. Oh my God, ZCMI had food. That was the remnants of the old co-op. I mean, these old that raised me, the dominant religion that raised here, I come from infant lines on all four sides. So it's been 200 years next year since the first got here. The fur rapers. Kit Carson's marker, the tree went down through it right up by the golf course there. I videoed all that. Why irony? Kit Carson took the fall for the longest march. They were Navajo. My mom was a teacher at the Intermountain Indian School in Brigham City, the old Bushnell Hospital that brought back the gassed, the people that were all poisoned in World War I. When the Spanish flu happened, they switched it over to the Intermountain Indians. So my mom, they were Navajo students. I got to tell this incredible story in the Great Junction City. This is a great story. So I'm 8th grade, 9th grade. I'm a half miler runner. I loved it. Gary Reed in 8th grade was my coach. Then it switched to Lamar. Don't even get me going about Lamar Hershey. That guy betrayed me so hard. I used to have to go against Ed Eisner. He ran at TH Bell. I ran at Walquist. The old Leslie Hodson Masterpiece building. They tore down. So it's called Walcatraz. So he was so smart. He wanted to teach us a lesson. So he took us up to the Intermountain Indian School, and we're going to race against the Navajo team. I'm the best half miler probably in the county besides Ed. How do you beat that dude? Come on. 2 Olympics. He's the BYU coach. He was so good. And anyway, I got a lot of seconds. I wonder why. And I ran the medley relay. Mike Wakely used to pass the baton to me, who I grew up with. He just passed it chance. I had lunch with him here on Wall at the great Mexican place, me and my grandson. And, you know, she who runs it was pretty standoffish to me until my grandson started speaking Spanish to her, and then she was like, hooked right up. So we're running. We take off. Again, I'm probably the best half miler in the county besides his. So the Navajo boy with the long, beautiful, straight hair, that was the tradition. Everybody had the long, beautiful, straight hair, boys and girls. And boy, they were beautiful. They were so good looking. It was unbelievable. And that era, everything's changed because that culture's been poisoned by everything we've been poisoned. The food chain, the air. He takes off. He's out in front of me. The hair is blowing in the wind on the grass track. I could always run really good on grass tracks. Roy High was still gravel. I couldn't run on that track. And then, of course, asphalt tracks I could run on. Coach Peterson at Weber State, who's 99 right now, he said we just held a fundraiser, and we had people from the community bringing tractor tires, old tires that they didn't have. And we got a machine and we ground up and made our own. They're going to replace the track now, finally. So he goes, I'm like, this guy's got to think he's going at 400. It's called the 440 in those days. You know, we were just learning metrics then in the 1970s. He's a big push. There's my biology professor from our high school, biology teacher right there. He's a freaking genius. And so he come up to me. We had one talk. So I'm like, he's got to think we're going at 440. He just kept going and kept going and kept going. He daylighted me, beat me. You know, I ran second, like I always run second. And I got there, and he's like, Coach Reed took out his stopwatch. He said, Kevin, come here. Look at that. He says, you just ran your best you've ever run. Yeah, I just probably broke the county record. You did break the county record. Look what he ran. Holy shit. I says, that's the state record. That's the high school state record. Yeah. Well, God, at least I got a race in the high school state record race. No, you didn't. Why? Don't count. What do you mean don't count? He's native. They don't. I'm like, what? What? And I knew because my mom was a teacher there and my grandparents lived there. So they had a bricklaying school there, including Mike Wakely, ran the second half. That's where all these natives learned to be bricklayers, these artisans. So we all got together. And the big eagle that was up there on the wall, we says, we'll take it down brick by brick, piece by piece, and redo it. And we also offered to do the walls up the canyon for free. Now get this, for free, we'll do it. We all got together, family bloodlines that had learned to lay brick at the Intermountain. By the way, there's a furniture factory in there, Mayor Madsen's factory. And I still have some couches from it, made by the Navajos. I mean, the exploitation was going on. And of course, what happened? That was Mayor Meekum, not Mayor Madsen. So Mayor Madsen was a gem. I stuck with his furniture store when I was 20 years old. Of course, that Weber State bought it, tore it down, and even tore out the murals in it. So they went in with a wrecking ball and just tore it down. Well, we just said we would do it for free. So how long? So back to Weber State. So in 2000, I went to the Berkshire Half, flew on Bill Child's Learjet, to the Buffett because he donated and bought our school after Clyde Cooley. He don't seize candy. Buffett don't seize candy. So he just sit up there and he just sees candy and, drink his Coke and babble on his bullshit and all the shit. We love you. Yeah. So we got to go to the yellow meeting because they donated. So I walked through and everybody was giving Warren Buffett shit about 2000 because that's one of the worst years he ever had. And I said, you know what I say about having a bad year? And he was all snooty. He had this big security, looked like an NFL team with him. He says to me, what's that mean? I says, even Babe Ruth had slumps. And I walked up. So he waved me over. I said, he's waving you back. And so they took all kinds of pictures, blah, blah, blah. Put his name. I never seen such happy grins. It's kind of like you're going to see the next few days here in Ogden, Utah. You'll never see people with grins like this happy because of this hardcore winter they have to experience. They're going to get set free to get their spring back for a few days until the flooding starts. So let's do this. That picture hung on the wall. We were saying for years. I don't know what happened to it, but it's stolen. Just look it up. Just look up. You can verify everything I say, but I have to spoon feed. And great knowledge will always be persecuted. Kevin Blanche, March 12th, 2011. So, Germany, 8 days. Can we do this? 8 days. Obey, consume, obey, consume. It's all clicks now, no bricks. All these malls are going bankrupt. Children behave, that's what they say. Together. Running justice, that's the old Ogden law. I'm in that Tiffany video. So, 8 days, Germany becomes completely nuclear energy free. The last reactor was shut. Yeah, if they don't shut them down, they're all going to freeze to death. What propaganda. On the 12th day of nuclearism, the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate gave to Germany a giant greenwashing machine. On the 11th day of nuclearism, the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate gave to Germany a stay in a bone marrow transplant. On the 10th day of nuclearism, the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate gave to Germany a permanent nuclear repository. On the 9th day of nuclearism, the Nuclear Crime Syndicate gave to Germany a PR, pom-pom, NRC, IAA, nuclear energy, pom-pom, cheerleader team. On the 8th day of nuclearism, the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate gave to Germany a permanent, poisoned ecology. Stand tuned. The Mitchell Axle. You stand on one side of the river of the Columbia. Yeah, come fishing. The other side closed. They're dying at sea. And there's being reports, they're dying because of decades of drought because they don't know. They think that salmon live in the rivers. They don't live in the rivers. They're born there. They come home to die. They live in the Pacific Ocean. And the smoking gun of Fukushima is the salmon. That tide pulls at your feet. Kevin White did all the tide pull work. I did the tide pull work. The Senator for Kid. I did the tide pull work. The Senator for Kid. I did the work. Prove to you. Now it's being fired. I'm the guy that named the drought in 2011 before it happened. I'm the guy that declared it all over before it was over. When the legislators were going to save the Great Salt Lake, well, this is the only thing that's going to save the Great Salt Lake's Mother Nature. When legislators get on and start pounding money, you know it's over. Because they're always Johnny-come-latelys to the game. So it's over now. You know how to pick up the pieces and go on. So you promised you would never break the chain. Oh, they broke the chain. It's an ecology, stupid. But you're all economy. Jesus died so I could be rich. Jesus died so bunnies can lay eggs. So stay tuned. Easter, Good Friday. So it's Good Friday. So the great garden's still here. He's been here for 100 years. So this food's good for the Greek garden. He's in here every day, the old man. He was a young man when I first started. Met him here in the great Junction City. It's no more. It's over now. You need to learn to speak a matter. America that's cool, cheese like that. I thought this was the old USA, America. So, stay tuned.